Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and it's been a little bit of time since I've done an Adorama Picks rapid fire critique, and I wanted to do one this morning just for you guys. So, in the meantime, I've asked them, Adorama Picks, for some codes that you guys can use because a lot of people have asked, we want to get prints, where are the codes? Well, here's a code, PXFRO20OFF. It's up on the screen, use it exactly as it appears, and you'll get 20% off any prints that you do until June 30th at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So use that code, take advantage of it to get some prints made. There you go. So we have Jonathan Lim here. I don't know where he's from, but here are the photos. Let's go through them and give it a rapid fire critique as much as we can. So this is a Canon EOS 600D, so it's a Rebel of some kind with a 10-22, which is an awesome little lens. Shot at f3.5, 30-second exposure, 10 millimeters, ISO 400. So this is a very long exposure at night. I don't think it's stacked. I think it's shot this way, and I also think that unless you have any light coming in from experience, because now that I've shot this type of thing, you may need to do some extra editing, which is what it looks like happened here. So I'm not really a fan of the hazy way that the person looks here. And yeah, I mean, if it's a self-portrait, it's pretty cool. The way that the sky is done is awesome. Great job there. You can see there's a lot of light pollution where they're at. So the less light pollution, the better and cleaner the image is going to look. But I don't mind this, especially if it is a self-portrait. The water has faded, not faded away, but because it's a 30-second exposure, it's gotten nice and smooth looking. The clouds have moved slightly, but the stars look bright and nice. So it's not bad. Right here, I'm just not a fan of the way that looks, but really nice job working with this. Are they looking at us or looking? So the hand is like this. No, they're looking at us. I think this would be their face based off of the shape. It looks like Bart Simpson for a second. So for me, I guess it doesn't matter what it's really taken at because it's not really about that. It's not that interesting of a background, and we don't have enough. It's not like, I mean, yes, it's a silhouette shot, but it's not that interesting in my opinion. Also, if you look at the horizon, the one thing I'm a big proponent of is getting the line straight, and here it's slightly off. You could correct that in post without a problem. The color is nice, but in a general landscape, it's not a very interesting image. It just isn't an interesting image. So, I mean, what else can I say other than that? Let's move on. A little more interesting. This is where a vertical probably would have done better. Cropping in along this line, use this board almost as the base of the bottom of your frame, and use something like this as the top of your frame, and it's going to draw you in and lead you down the image. So what was it taken with? Another f22 shot. Why are we shooting at 25 seconds? Maybe they're all on tripods and they're long exposures for that type of purpose. But so it's a 51.8. Yeah, I mean here, there's nothing over here. So that's why there's no interest there. Now, again, with a critique, I am not ripping the person to shreds. I am trying to give some input with my opinion on what I think could work better. And like I've always said, just because I say it doesn't mean that it's right, doesn't mean that it's wrong. Everybody has an opinion, and I'm just trying to throw it out there to maybe spark something in the photographer's mind or in your mind. So what I would do right about here is where I would compose this, get these barrels out of the way, shoot it like this, boom, 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 and you have a much better image because you don't have all of this garbage back here. So it looks like a fishing net. So this shot has zero interest. One thing you could do to save it, a black and white would probably save it. Oh, why are you shooting at 1.8 on this? 1.8, I don't know. Should not be shooting at 1.8 with something like this, especially outside. You can see that it's not sharp really anywhere. Not saying that it totally needs to be, but even if you're going to shoot outside, 3.5, so shooting at 3.5 or 4 or something like that would be perfectly fine. What ISO? Probably 100, right? Yeah, 100. It's just black and white could save this. But here's what I would do. I would not shoot at 1.8. Just because you have a 1.8 doesn't mean you need to shoot there. A lot of people think that, oh, I'll shoot at 1.8, but the focus is just so narrow, and a lot of things aren't sharp. And that just takes away from the image. So if I'm going to rip this up, not rip it up, but give it corrective criticism, I think black and white would save this because it's void of color. If I was to shoot this again, I would have the boat down here in this corner over here, leading the lines of the net all the way. Yeah, you can see the net going here. So if this boat, I'm pointing to the screen. I wish I could move it. If this boat, why don't I do, oh, don't want to take a screen capture. I can show you. I can sort of show you. Just look at something along this line. Like, that would feel better to me if this was the shot, right? Because it's just puts it off in the corner. There's less dead space. So that's what I would consider for this one. Next. Not bad. Same area. Long exposure again. Yeah, 10 seconds because it's not as long as that 30-second one. Again, the horizon, I don't know. Maybe the horizon is straight and it's just the shoreline that is off. But again, get this boat somewhere else. Being right in the middle of the frame detracts from the image. And I know this isn't, it's close to compose. I mean, I like the reflection of the boat, but, you know, something like this. Compose it slightly different because you got to fill the frame more. I know, is it a 50 millimeter? No, it's a 10 to 22, so you don't have as much reach. But maybe for this one, you break out the 50 and you do something along those lines. Not bad. Color looks good. Moving on. Sprinkler, it's probably a fun experiment. What are we shooting at? 1/800th of a second at 5.6. Oh, now you've got a 55 to 300 breaking out. 55 to, what's it say, 250. Not a, you know, that's a kit lens, but you're going to get some really cool stuff with it outside. So this is cool. You can practice. I recommend this for anybody without getting wet. Shoot at slow shutter speeds, shoot at higher shutter speeds. See what happens when you're shooting with water. Just experiment with shutter speeds and see how you can either get them to blur or get them to freeze the action. Because at 1/800th of a second, you're not going to freeze this stuff, as you can see as it whips around right here. But if you were to shoot even at 5.6, bump your ISO even to 800 outside. 5.6, 800, so 200 ISO is one stop, 400 ISOs is two stops, and 800 ISO would be 3 stops of light. So to go from 800th of a second, you go to 1600th to 3200th, and you probably won't be able to go past that with this Rebel because it probably maxes out at 1/4000th of a second, but you get the picture of what I'm saying, and that's how the exposure thingy-mabobber works. Moving on to the next one. Okay. I mean, it's okay. We've got the experimentation here. Around F11 or F16 is where you're going to start to get this type of lines from any type of light. But this is kind of, I mean, it's hard without being in a photo story to really tell what's going on. I'll call this an experimental shot to go and try to get these lights in there. So not bad for doing that. But other than that, it's just, it lacks interest. Is this another self-portrait? I don't know if this is a self-portrait or not. It's okay. I mean, I like the out-of-focus bokeh stuff. F22 again. So even, you know, some light painting going on. It's all right. And then, boom. Fan-freaking-tastic. Of all the images that I've seen in this set, or all the images that I've ever seen doing a rapid-fire critique, this has to be one of the most powerful images that makes the entire set. All of the other images, yeah. They're snapshots. This is what I talk about when I say snapshots and a photograph. When you get to this photograph, does this not freaking pop? Does this not yell like National Geographic's, Time Magazine? This is the one shot that they have that is unbelievably awesome. Jonathan, this is it. I would focus on more candid stuff like this. We've got, I would assume this is the teacher, and everybody else is writing in their book. This is great. So, what do I love about it? I love that nobody's looking except for this guy. But then again, is it the same person in every single photo in the background? Or does everybody just have the same haircut? Now I'm confused. I'm still excited about it, but I wish I knew some more. Because is it the same person? Do they have the same pen? Now I'm confused. Now I'm absolutely, totally... It looks like the same hair on everybody. So, either way, I still like it. Somebody try to explain it to me, but it does look like the same person in all of these photos. Because they all have the same hair and the same glasses. I don't think everybody would have the same hair, same glasses, and write the same way. Nonetheless, fantastic photo. Moving on. Light painting, nice try. Actually, I mean, this is cool. It looks good. So it's experimental. How can you, so what you can do with experimenting like this is decide how does this work in other types of images. If you were to do a portrait of somebody where you had fill light in the front and then you did an exposure where you did this in the back, or you did a long exposure, you painted their face with a quick burst and then did this stuff in the back, then you could have a really cool experimental photo that you did. So it's nice to get out there and experiment. This is pretty cool. Doing a light painting where you just take a flashlight, long exposure. How long? 29 seconds. And you've got all this light in the background because of 29 seconds, but you basically take a light pen and boom, and you point it at the camera and you draw around the people, and it looks pretty cool. So there you have it. I will stop right there. I absolutely love this image. Any way that it's made, I love it. So that is another Adorama Pix Rapid Fire Critique. People want to know, how do we submit these? Well, I ask for them from time to time on Facebook, and then I build up a backlog of them, and I try to get to the ones that I want to do. Put them up there. Your 10 best photos. Send a link. Flickr is free. Put up a gallery, or if you have 500 pics, 10 pictures, send them to me. And don't forget, if you want to get some prints made at Adorama Pix because you've been wanting to get prints, you can get 20% off of anything you order there. PXFRO20 off to get that discount until June 30th. Might as well take advantage of it. You guys always ask for codes, and you might as well save some money. So there you have it. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.